Hey, y'all, this is Christine Dean, your DFW networking diva, connecting you to who you want to know and the resources you want to know about. And I am so excited today because I'm going to share one of my favorite people with you. And you are in for a treat because we are collaborating to have some fun. And I always like to invite you when we're going to have fun. So let me bring Rosie in. Hey, Rosie,
Hey
welcome.
there. I love the fun part. I'm all about that. So this is so perfect.
Oh, absolutely. Right. And when you told me about what you do, I was like, oh, we got to share this with other people because so
Yeah,
many people can benefit from this. And I'm all about
totally.
sharing resources.
Yeah.
So nobody knows what this is about, though. It's a secret. So let's reveal the secret and let them know what we're up to. We are going to team up because Rosie is brilliant and she does this cool thing. It's card decks. And I was like, you what? Wait a minute. So do you have card decks with you? Do you have some?
Of course I do.
Oh,
I always have card decks with me, which is the whole point. Because when you have a card deck, it's so easy for people to use it and carry it around, which is the whole point. It's it's like fun and a transformational teaching tool.
I love that.
So
And card decks, you're talking about like when we learned our ABCs. Here's A is for apple. I mean,
well, yeah. I mean, if you think of I think of the the multiplication table, because I remember
yep.
my dad sitting there and going through and until you just knew all those numbers and the spelling words and all of that. So, that's the way our brains work, is like the repetition. And so
Mhm.
in this world, I mean, I don't, like, raise your hand if like there's not enough information for you today, because it's coming at us
Right.
from everywhere, whether we want it or not. And it's like overwhelm of information. But that
Mhm.
isn't what makes the transformation, because we need to take action to make a transformation. And that's why I love a card deck, is because they're actionable, bite-sized micro things that you can do. And that's all it takes to make a move. But when you're stuck and there's all this overwhelm, you're not moving. So
Right.
that's why this is like a game changer for your business and for your clients' life in whatever it
Mhm.
is that you're supporting them with.
All right, let me process this because you
Yeah,
think
that's
about
a
it.
lot.
We had the decks, and now, but yours are so much prettier than the ones I remember. Those multiplication table ones, those were no fun. This sounds like a lot more fun than the ones that we
Yeah.
remember. But we used that when we learned when we were young, right? And somehow we get away from that idea as we're older, and then we're thinking, oh, now we had to go like through college and high school. They encourage you to write out index cards. Everything was index cards way back when, right? And then we moved into this digital era. But sometimes going back to the basics, something, if you want something to be top of mind, it kind of needs to be right there at the tip of your hands, right? I mean, this way it's right there for you to play with, manipulate
Yeah,
in nice, short, just bite sized information, right?
that's it.
We get so overwhelmed with content overload, right? So just being able to focus on one small section.
Right. And you just said something really valuable, is that we kind of devalue a small little step, because we want to do everything like right now, this instant gratification. It's like, let me just reach up there and get the thing, versus like it takes, like, if you look at a staircase, you cannot, your goal is the top of the steps, but you cannot just fly up there. You've got to take a step and a step and a step. So
Mhm.
that's what this provides, is the journey, the step, and each step along the way is actually something that a person can do and isn't going to get like distracted by or like overwhelmed by. And so that's where the magic happens, is in the small little steps that eventually, with repetition, add up. And I have a slide here about repetition, and one of my favorite quotes about it, if you want to pull it up.
Let's pull it up.
So we can't discount that like, if you want your clients to learn something, like, they need to hear it over and over. It's just like you said, oh, I need to process that. Like, I've been talking about card decks for so long, like it's shooting out of my mouth, as if like, but wait, there's so many little nuggets I just said. It's like, hold on, repeat
Mhm.
that, please. Let me hear that again. Right. So, the mother of learning, the father of action. And then that's when the accomplishment happens. He calls it accomplishment. I call it transformation. But whatever it takes to shift you from, where you are to where you want to be. So the
Mhm.
repetitive nature is the most valuable thing.
And a lot of times it's those small shifts that have a big impact over time, right? And it's not as overwhelming if you're taking little chunks at a time to make that shift into where you want
Right.
to be. So for us, as business owners and helping us, there might be times that we need cards, or we might want cards for maybe training for our employees even, right?
Yes,
Especially if
absolutely.
you have a business that turns over employees fast, which seems to be happening a lot in the last few years, keeping around people. But if you can make it easier to onboard your employees, they're more likely to stick around. They're not going to get frustrated as easily, right? They're feeling comfortable. It
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense to use something like that. And how often do you see that anymore? You don't.
Yeah. It's like you have a system, a process, a method, something that you're teaching people to do, as a coach or a team leader or someone in leadership or any business. Like there's no business that can't use this tool. So
Mhm.
your system, your process, your method, like how you know it and the person needs to know it. So how do they learn it? It's from doing it over and over again. And so this really gives them the opportunity for that to happen. And
But
like you said, it's fun. It's like,
it's
yeah, I
fun.
can pull one card and say, can I go read a chapter or two chapters or do a whole workbook or watch 3 hours of video? Maybe I'm tired. I don't feel like doing that. But I certainly can pull one card a day. And then over time of going through like 52 cards or, 44 cards or 78 cards, whatever. Oh, I've actually done something.
Well, I was just thinking it's something easy to reference back. I know video is all the rage now, but trying to rewatch something in the video and find out exactly where it was in the
Yes.
video, I know with
Right.
the Giver Marketing Network, we just did our summit, and the idea of trying to find the pinpoint out of 6-7 hours of video, find that one spot. But if you had a cheat sheet, right? I mean, that's kind of how the cards can be used too. So those references,
Yeah.
when you need something really quick, you've got those go-to answers right there. So you could have a
Yeah.
whole FAQ section. I mean,
Right.
there's so many versatile ways to use this. I'm just so excited about it. And that's just within our own businesses, let alone helping our clients.
That's right.
Right.
And one of the statistics that I like to share that really it's not a great statistic. 92%. Like 92% sounds good, but 92% represents the amount of people that don't finish your course.
Oh, for those that make courses. Yeah. Okay. So
Right?
your
Think
coaches, your
about
teachers,
that.
your trainers.
Yeah. So
Is
like
it really that high?
yeah, it's high.
92%
Yeah, it's
don't
really
finish the
high.
course?
It's really high.
All
And
right. Thinking back, when's the last time I signed up for a course and did I even, yeah, all right, I see. We're fast paced, we're moving,
we're so excited in the beginning. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then it's like, oh, okay, I'll come back to it. Okay, I'll go back to it. And then all of a sudden it piles up and you're like, look at all I have to. And so when it's coupled with this, this teaching tool, this addition to it, right? So that's another way. And I'm telling you all the things, and there's so many things to talk about, which is why we're going to invite you to a class where I can show you more things and more ways that actual people, actual card deck creators are actually using it and actually making a difference and actually making money, because it's really game changing when, you figure out like, wow, I can actually do that. Yes.
I love that. And that's the secret. That's our collaboration coming up, is we are going to do this training, and Rosie's going to do most of it. But I'm sure I'll interrupt just enough to have fun.
Yes.
But this training is going to be so much fun, because I want to dive deeper into it and see about how I can use that in my business, whether it's through onboarding employees or whether it's for helping me with some systems that I want to remember and try to put new systems in place. And it's hard to remember those systems, right? When you're trying to put something new in, those habits. It's a great way to do that, or helping my clients, because that's a whole nother area that we're going to be sitting down and exploring. I know you and I, Rosie, we're going to dive into that one fun, but
Yeah.
there's so many possibilities on how to make this work. So we're
Yeah.
going to do this free training. And so the link is scrolling across the bottom, and we're going to go to, I have it embedded on my website, so you can find it there forevermore. So it's dfwnetworkingdiva.com/free card deck training registration. And there's little dashes in between all those words.
Awesome. Love it.
Free card deck training registration. That's right. It's a long one.
Screenshot it and go type it in.
You're in the right place. And you know what? We're going to drop that in chat also, just because that's a mouthful. So you can find the link in chat if you want to go ahead and click on that link. You'll be able to register. You'll get the reminders because, like we said, 92% of people don't finish the course. And this is just a one little training that we're putting together.
Yeah.
And
And I will tell you that the feedback that I get from my training, like people, you will always leave inspired. Like you will always be like, oh my God, I didn't think of that. I didn't know that. This is so fun. This is so exciting. You know, you're definitely leave inspired in and thinking about ways that you can up level the experience that you give to your client, right? Because that's what people remember is the experience that you give them more than anything else. It's like, oh, I remember that you took me through that and that really worked. And so that's what you're going to get to see. And, yeah. And we're going to actually have you come up with your card deck idea. So I'll be taking you through a whole process. You're going to have a worksheet. It's going to be amazing. So I'd love you to come.
This is going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to it because, when you have a new tool, you're like, all right, how can I cross apply this in a way that makes sense? And it's, I like that we can combine it with what we're already doing.
Oh,
right?
That's the key. You don't have to go creating something different because sometimes we're like shiny objects all over. This is not a shiny object.
Shiny object chasers that, yep.
Yeah. Raise your hand, right? This is taking what you already have and just up-leveling it, refining it, and presenting it to your audience in a different, more usable, impactful, practical, and fun way. Because you know what? We all, let's just like how we started, we all need to have more fun in this life, right? Like it doesn't have to be also like grinding, right? You can have fun and still have the same outcome. So probably a better outcome when you're having fun doing it because things then stick more, right? So,
absolutely. Yeah. Let me see those cards again. Show me again. Let me see.
Well, these cards right here, this is like my self-love deck. Oh. And I'll show you a whole bunch. This is a deck that I had made for Dean Graziosi, which is all about sales. Okay. And went along with one of his programs because his whole, like the big idea is sales as service. So these cards, give you his quote about sales as service and then a little, commentary on what he says about it. So it truly, like, you think, oh, that sounds so simple. But let me tell you, you pull some of these cards before you get on a sales call, like that's making a huge freaking difference in the way you show up on that sales call. So lots of different things you can do, lots of different ways. We are not short of ideas of what you can do for your business. I can tell you that.
Oh my little brain is just going on overdrive right now because DFW Networking Diva. Of course, there's people that are always looking for advice for networking. So for those that are new to networking, those are feeling a little nervous or wanting to up their skill set, right? Being able to review some cards right before you go into a meeting. Right. You know what that would do for your confidence before you go in, you can't necessarily sit there and watch a half-hour video before you walk in, but you could take a look at a card and be like, all right, I got this. Here I go. Yeah. Right.
And all it is like, again, it's that this is something that like, okay, this little thing is just, it shifts your perception, your thought process, in the moment. Right. So that's amazing. Right.
It is. It's just it blows my mind because it's the simplicity, yet the beauty of it, yet how hands-on it is and easy and accessible it is, right? So this is, entrepreneurs, right? I'm sure there's a way to bring this into your business, right? Coaches, absolutely. Healers, oh yeah, right? I can just imagine my favorite massage therapist, Eric Olson, putting some kind of deck together. All right, let's face it, as a marketing person, I'm going to have to put it together, but pull the information out of his brain in order to create that, right?
There's not a case where I haven't been able to come up with this, help a person come up with this grand idea that they're excited about of what they can do with it. Like, so don't think that it's not for you because there's something there for you. There's a card deck in your future. It's in the cards.
Oh, absolutely. Whether you're an author, a speaker, a podcaster, small business owner, there's going to be a way to make this either bring more income in or help you with the training for your clients. I mean, there's all sorts of possibilities or your employees. So this has a lot of uses. And I'm really looking forward to this free webinar that we're going to be offering.
Me too.
So this free training, totally free, promise. We're not selling you anything. Just come, enjoy, have fun. If you want more information after that, perfect. We're here to help. But I know you had some other slides. Do you want me to pull any more up
Yeah,
there? I think
you
you
can,
had something in there. What was that? Oh,
yeah, and so
okay.
this is
What is
just
it?
kind of giving you a visual of, like, I like to say, and you'll hear me say all the time, that the card deck is a seed. And from
Mhm.
that seed stems all the other things in your business. I've had people start businesses from their card deck, shift their business, perspective from their card deck, add on to all kinds of things from their card deck. And so it just, it's very, did you say limitless? That was
There it
someone last
is.
night in my, no, that was someone last night in one of my trainings. Was like, it's really, there's so many things that you can do with it and so many places that you can take it. And then the last slide was just about what I was talking about. Is these are statistics of, like, when we read things, when we hear things, and when we see them and things we say, but, like, it's the experience that a person feels. And so don't forget, then this is a tangible product that you're actually doing things with, right? So it creates
Mhm.
a more full experience. And that's really just, a game changer, which is, again, what I'm going to be talking about, the 10 game changing ways in this workshop that we would love to have you come join us for.
Absolutely. I love this. It's hard to believe, like, what we remember, what we read, only 10%, what we hear, 20%, what we
Yeah.
see. This is mind blowing, right? What we see and hear, we still only remember half of it, right? Let alone what we say, 70, and then up to 90% is when we experience things. And really, as a former college professor myself, I understand the different learning styles, and that hands-on really is a great way for most people to
Yeah.
learn. So I could see how that being 90%. It makes total sense to me. Even after all this time, it's still hovering at the top.
Right. Exactly.
I love this. And so if we want to remember things, card decks are a great way to go for us and for our clients. So we're going to scroll that one more time on where people can run and play and come hang out with us,
Mhm.
because we want everybody to come hang out and take advantage of this
And
free
have
training.
fun. We're going to have fun.
Heck
Have
yeah.
fun and down to business. So, there's
All
always
together.
fun.
Doesn't get any better than this. I'm really looking forward to this. So, expect, if you didn't catch this video, we're going to be inviting people through Facebook, through LinkedIn, and we're going to invite you and come hang out with us, have fun with us, because, more the merrier. Tag somebody that's a coach, an author, a speaker, a podcaster. Let them know what's coming up, because we want them to make the most out of their business and what they're doing. So this is where they want to be. So we're looking forward to it. Thanks for coming to play with me, Rosie.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, y'all. We'll see you soon.